Good morning, scholars. Today we're going to continue our way through Pharr's Homeric Greek, a book for beginners, reviewing all the various moods of the aorist passive tenses. Okay. So, as you remember, the aorist passive has a first aorist passive and a second aorist passive. And the stem of the first aorist passive is formed by adding theta, eta, or theta epsilon directly to the verb stem. So you get elutein, epantein, edotein from luo, pino, and didome, respectively. Now the variation between theta, eta, and theta epsilon is consistent over respective tenses. You get theta, eta, or simply eta in the second aorist passive in the indicative, the imperative, excluding the third plural, and the infinitive. Likewise, you get theta epsilon, or just epsilon, in the second aorist passive of the subjunctive, the optative, and the participle. So we'll see that. Now looking at the second aorist passive, the stem of the second aorist passive is formed by adding eta or epsilon directly to the verb stem. And then, of course, the personal endings. So, eblabein, I was injured, from blopto, with your root stem being blob. So, eblabein, eblabes, eblabe, eblabemen, eblabete, eblabesan. In Homer, you will see epsilon nu as your ending of the third plural of the indicative in place of eta sigma on. So watch out for that. Now Smythe gives you these two wonderful sections where he shows first where the second aorist passive is the only aorist passive formed in Attic prose, and gives you a list of verbs there. I'll go over this list in detail in a subsequent video. And likewise, in section 595, he gives a list of verbs where that show both a first aorist passive and the second aorist passive. And he goes on to tell you that most of these verbs use either the one in prose and the other in poetry, dialects, or late Greek. So, backing up, we start with the indicative, where we're going to see theta, eta, or just eta. And so the stem of the first aorist passive is formed by adding theta, eta directly to the verb stem. So this is our indicative. Elutein, elutes, elute, elutemen, elutete, elutesan. Now the imperative, you'll see that again we have theta, eta, excepting in the third plural. So you end up with lutete, luteto, lutete, lutenton, and panete, paneto, panete, panenton. And likewise in the infinitive, you'll have theta, eta, or a. So lutenai, blabenai. Whereas switching to the subjunctive, you'll see that you actually are adding, the subjunctive adds omega, eta, your varying thematic, expanded thematic vowel, to the tense stem ending in theta, epsilon, or epsilon. And then you have this contraction, and that is responsible for the circumflex accent over either the over the personal ending. So you end up with luto, lutes, lute, lutomen, lutote, lutose. And bano, banes, bane, banomen, banote, banose. And always remember, the subjunctive does not have the augment. Likewise, in the optative, we see the theta epsilon or plain epsilon, but there's a slight twist insofar as the plural forms have two different possibilities. So you can see, looking at the first singular, lu, de, ain, you see that iota, which is your sign of your mood suffix for the optative, that iota sneaking in between the epsilon and the eta. So lute ain, lute ace, lute a. And then in the plural you have two different forms, lute men, lute de, lute en, or a form where the a is followed by an eta, lute men, lute de, lute san. And these are not too difficult if you remember that iota is your mood suffix of the optative. These are actually not difficult to spot at all. So likewise, you see the same variations in the second aorist passive. Bane ein, bane ace, bane a, bane men, bane te, bane en, and bane men, bane te, bane san. The participle, we've already seen this, but it too ends in theta epsilon, and then you add nu tau, which in the masculine results in des, entos, ente, enta, entes, enton, ese, entas. But then in the feminine, you have the that nu tau disappears, and you just end up with esa, ese, ese, esan, esai, eson, esais, esas, pretty much looking like a first declension noun. And then the neuter, of course, with the accusative and the nominative being identical, koloten, kolotentos, kolotente, koloten, kolotenta, kolotenton, kolotese, kolotenta. So here again, we are seeing the theta epsilon as our ending, or as our form of the stem, the verb stem, before the participial endings. Now, the final thing that's important talking about aorist passives are these things called passive deponents. Now, deponent verbs are generally verbs that have a form, have active meaning with either middle or passive form. So these things called passive deponents, deponent verbs whose aorists have the passive form but an active or middle meaning are called passive deponents. So they show a passive form in the aorist but have an active or middle meaning. So here the examples he gives here is bulomai, wish, which if you see this in the aorist, it's going to be ebuletain, which looks like a passive, but it is a passive form, but it has active or middle meaning. Now, most of these passive deponents express mental action of some sort. So Smythe actually gives you a list of them, and if we look at the verbs, just go through these very quickly. Agamai, admire. Ida omai, feel shame. Allah omai, wander. Hamila omai, contend. Arnet omai, deny. Akdomai, am grieve. Bulomai, wish. Det omai, want. Deok omai, see. Dunamai, am able. enantiomai, oppose, epistemai, understand, eramai, love, eulabeomai, am conscious, hedomai, take pleasure in, hetaomai, yield to, and then various compounds of dumeomai, consider, am eager, endumeomai, produmeomai. Then various compounds of, dialegomai, converse. You'll see that often in Plato. Epimelomai, care for. Metamelomai, regret. Aponeo noeomai, despair. Dia noeomai, reflect. In noeomai, think of. Epe noeomai, think on. Pro noeomai, foresee. And oiomai, think. And pilotimeomai, am ambitious. So you have to see that all of these will have an aorist that looks like a passive, but nevertheless carries the active sense of the, or middle sense of the, active/middle sense of the present form of the verb. You can consult your lexicon if you have any confusion. But you see, for instance, agamai gives you agastein as its aorist, and the rest of these follow suit. So these are worth studying and familiarizing yourself with. I would say that bulomai and dunamai and hedomai, and then the various compounds of dumeomai and noeomai, and also oiomai, think, that those are your most common ones. Okay, so that's an overview of the aorist passive. I wish you good luck. I thank you for being interested, and I say have a nice day. Goodbye.